Picture this. You're a pitcher, Major League Baseball, bottom of the ninth. And walking up to the plate is a man who doesn't just want to hit your best fastball, he wants to destroy it. And maybe you too. Throughout baseball history, there's been a select few hitters blessed with the superhuman ability to crush a baseball over 500 feet. But they didn't just use this power to win games, they used it for pure psychological warfare.
It's a dig! It is out of here!
Let's start with Frank Robinson, 6'1", 190 pounds of pure intimidation. This man didn't just hit 586 home runs in the 60s and 70s, he turned charging the mound into an art form. Before he even won Rookie of the Year, Robinson was making headlines for brawling with his own teammates. Think about that for a second. His first season, charged Don Drysdale. Suspended. Second season, went after Bob Gibson. Fined. But here's where it gets crazy. 2 months later, Jim Bunning drills him. Bunning tries to run away. A fight breaks out. Multiple players have to contain Robinson. The brawl dies down. And then Robinson breaks free and goes back for round 2. In his first 10 seasons, Robinson was untouchable. League leader in home runs, most RBIs, highest slugging percentage. But get this, he also served 25 days of suspension for fighting and charging pitchers. 25 days. This man was so unhinged, he once charged the mound after hitting a home run. Why? Because the pitcher had the audacity to stare at him. He grabbed his bat, charged the mound, and accidentally hit a school teacher in the stands after a successful at-bat. But if you think Robinson was crazy, meet Cobb. At less than 175 pounds, this man might have been in more fights than any player in baseball history. Cobb once beat up a handicapped fan in the stands, in the middle of a game, Tigers versus Yankees. Why? The fan was heckling him. And Cobb? Well, Cobb was obsessed with fighting people. Get this statistic. In 1909, over half of his games featured an ejection because he refused to stop fighting. 15 ejections in a single season. When Christy Mathewson hit him with a pitch, Cobb's response? Charge the mound, spike both the pitcher and the catcher, then say, and I quote, "Send them both to the same hospital in the same ambulance." According to Cobb himself, he charged the mound an estimated 200 times throughout his career. 200! Now here's a different kind of intimidating Aaron Judge, 6 feet 7 inches of pure quiet terror. This man has had 0 mound confrontations. Why? Because nobody in their right mind would ever mess with this giant. Judge hit 62 home runs at age 30, and most of the time had no idea how far they were going. Over 5 years, pitchers have faced him 2,113 times. 15% of those at-bats ended in home runs.
Fielding deep, Motto's back, on the track, at the wall!
That's the highest home run percentage in baseball history. This is the guy who hit a ball 121 miles per hour.
There goes deep left. It is high. It is far. It is gone.
The hardest hit ball ever recorded by a human being. Judge's bat doesn't just hit baseballs, it has the power to end careers. But none of these guys match Albert Belle's pure, unfiltered rage. When Belle was in a bad mood, everyone knew it.
Oh, this is just like the play.
He once struck out 3 times against Randy Johnson, got so pissed off that when Greg Maddux came in to pitch next, he just charged the mound on purpose because he was mad. His own team didn't just suspend him, they made him go to anger management classes for 8 months. After one bad call, he got in an umpire's face, bumped him, got ejected, then charged 400 feet into the stands after a fan, went to the dugout, and proceeded to completely destroy a Gatorade machine. That poor Gatorade machine never saw it coming. Then there's Bo Jackson, 6'1", crushing 500-foot home runs basically at will. His bat speed was literally inhuman.
There's one, a long drive, way back, this ball.
In All-Star games, pitchers were so terrified they'd throw some of the most ridiculous junk you've ever seen just to avoid challenging him. Rick Ruschiel once intentionally walked Bo Jackson with the bases loaded rather than risk his ERA. Dwight Gooden looked absolutely terrified facing him, throwing pitches that belonged in a comedy sketch. But here's the thing about Bo. He wasn't even trying to be scary. He was just that massive and that powerful.
I don't know if there's ever been anyone do it.
Tony Batista took intimidation to a whole new level. This guy was hitting .200 and feared he was going to be out of the league. So what did he do? He decided to just start acting like a complete psychopath. He developed the most bizarre batting stance in baseball history. When his team tried to make him change it, he filed a grievance with the Players Association. He said, "How am I going to convince them I'm a dangerous hitter if I look like a little leaguer?" The routine took forever. He'd enter the box, adjust his stance as weirdly as possible, pound his bat into the plate like a maniac. Roger Clemens got so annoyed, he started quick pitching him. When Batista stepped back in, he'd just repeat the entire routine again. But wait, we've talked about mound chargers, we've covered the silent giants, we've seen pure rage and bizarre mind games. But what if I told you there was one hitter so intimidating, so psychologically dominant, that pitchers would literally surrender before even throwing a pitch? What if I told you there was a man who could turn an intentional walk, baseball's ultimate sign of respect and fear, into the setup for an even more devastating blow? Ladies and gentlemen, meet the most intimidating hitter in baseball history, Barry Bonds. 762 home runs, 740 home run seasons. This man would stare down pitchers for throwing anywhere near him. And if you brushed him back, he would homer off you the very next at-bat, guaranteed. If you got ahead 0-2 on Barry Bonds, that just meant you were about to get taken deep.
I'll take your kneecap off, so here we go. First time Bonds is charged.
He would hit home runs off pitchers' best stuff just because he was down 2 strikes and wanted to demoralize them. In his record-breaking season, the Giants were so confident that the last pitcher of the game literally walked to the mound with a white flag he got from the bullpen. The umpire told him he could surrender if he wanted to. The pitcher said, "Why not? I'm not going to get him out anyway." He threw a fastball down the middle. Home run number 73, record broken.
It's a deep, and it is!
But the most ruthless moment? Bonds got intentionally walked with the bases loaded, stayed patient, then hit a grand slam the next at-bat. He waited until after the game to tell reporters it was intentional. So there you have it. From Ty Cobb's 200 mound charges to Frank Robinson's 25 days of suspensions. From Bo Jackson's effortless 500-foot bombs to Barry Bonds making pitchers literally wave white flags. These weren't just great hitters, they were psychological warriors who turned the batter's box into their personal battlefield. The most intimidating hitter in baseball history? Barry Bonds.
It's the classic short.
When you can make a pitcher surrender before the pitch is thrown, when you turn intentional walks into grand slams, when getting ahead in the count just means you're about to go yard, that's true intimidation. Because in baseball, sometimes the scariest weapon isn't the 100-mile-per-hour fastball. It's the guy holding the bat. What do you think? Did we miss any terrifying hitters who struck fear into pitchers' hearts?
This one out toward left center field. This one headed way back beyond the monster.
Drop your picks in the comments below. And if you enjoyed diving into baseball's most intimidating moments, smash that like and subscribe for more legendary baseball stories.